Channel 4, New Orleans. This is Louisiana's news leader. Channel 4's Eyewitness News.
Teams of auditors at both the state and federal level are about to put Louisiana's Department of Environmental Quality under a microscope.
The audits follow complaints that DEQ and other state agencies are not warning the public when the public's health is at risk. Dave McNamara has a special report.
They delivered water to each house.
For the past 15 years, Kenny and Evelyn Bunch have gotten all of their water from these two wells behind their home. That same water has flowed through the faucets in 50 other homes in the Myrtle Grove trailer park near Plaquemine. But the residents here found out several months ago that the water they've been drinking and bathing in is contaminated with vinyl chloride, a chemical that can cause cancer.
Well, I'm worried about my health, my wife, my kid, my grandkids stay here.
Even worse, state health officials admit they knew about the contamination 4 years ago and told no one.
They claim it slipped through the cracks. You know, like a lot of things that they don't want you to know slip through the cracks. So
Kenny Bunch suspects the chemical in his groundwater came from the DOW chemical plant less than 2 miles away, a facility that makes vinyl chloride. But the State Department of Environmental Quality has yet to trace the source of the contamination.
How much confidence do you have that somebody in the state is looking out for your safety?
Not very much, partner. None. I don't think they're doing a very good job.
And there are other concerns about how Louisiana enforces environmental rules. When a leak from a gas transmission site in Bossier Parish contaminated groundwater, the Department of Environmental Quality delayed notifying nearby residents at the gas company's request. A lawsuit alleges the company wanted the delay so it could buy adjoining property. And there are allegations of wrongdoing involving employees of DEQ and the operators of this landfill near Walker in Livingston Parish. It comes at a time when Waste Management is seeking a permit from DEQ to double the size of its operation here.
Federal and state investigators are looking into gratuities, like rounds of golf, that DEQ officials may have received from the company that operates this landfill. And after an internal investigation, DEQ Secretary Dale Givens has reportedly confirmed that one or more of his employees did receive gifts or gratuities.
Givens declined our request for an interview, but his agency is having to answer questions from EPA investigators, federal grand juries, and Louisiana's legislative auditor.
Now, if there's criminal activity, EPA will investigate that at the federal level. If it's just a matter that it hurt the people in that they were not informed, then we will report that in the audit.
Legislative Auditor Dan Kyle has two groups of auditors looking into operations at DEQ. One group is probing the allegations of wrongdoing at the Livingston and Bossier Parish sites.
As usual, once the public became aware that someone was going to look at it, we began to get phone calls, and we have a lot of additional allegations that we will be looking at while we're in there.
The second team of auditors is looking at the performance of DEQ, how it issues permits, how its staff monitors the environment and enforces the rules.
We don't have a dog in this fight. We're completely independent of how this function of government is run. So we're going to give a factual, objective view of what's going on in DEQ.
The Environmental Protection Agency contracts with state agencies like DEQ to enforce federal clean air and water standards. If the EPA is dissatisfied with DEQ's performance, it could yank that authority from the state.
The honor system that the state likes to pursue is working so well, you have to wonder why, when the feds look at the same situations, they find not only violations, but possible criminal violations.
Mark Davis heads the Coalition to Restore Coastal Louisiana. It was his letter to the EPA, the legislative auditor, and Governor Foster that prompted the federal and state audits.
If people don't believe that the water is safe, if they don't believe that the agencies who are charged with being the stewards of those resources can be trusted, you don't get to do the work that needs to be done.
A month after Davis wrote his letter, Governor Foster issued an executive order that requires state agencies to notify the public of environmental contamination that could harm their health.
We're delighted he did it. We're kind of amazed that it was viewed as necessary.
These investigations are focusing on the concerns that have been voiced by environmental groups for years. Mary Lee Orr heads the Louisiana Environmental Action Network.
I think the citizens will be satisfied when they feel like when they turn on their water that it's safe to drink, when they go outdoor that it's safe for their children to play in the air, and they feel like that they can grow their vegetables in the garden.
Once the audits are complete, concerned citizens hope they'll have a better understanding of operations at Louisiana's Department of Environmental Quality, and they'll be able to see whose interests are being protected. Dave McNamara, Eyewitness News, Night Watch.
Now, in addition to the audits and investigations involving the DEQ, a special state grand jury in Plaquemine is now investigating the water contamination in the Myrtle Grove trailer park. In that case, the State Department of Health and Hospitals detected vinyl chloride in groundwater, but failed to notify residents.
Tens of thousands of DEQ records are in the custody of the Secretary of State tonight. The department was in the process of having those records destroyed when Secretary of State Fox McKithen stepped in. McKithen says he took control of the public documents because of numerous criminal and civil actions involving DEQ. According to health consultants hired by the agency, the records were exposed to several types of mold, mildew, and fungus in the warehouse where they were stored.